Hello everyone. So today we are going to cover the fundamentals of Service Cloud. Service Cloud is an extremely important topic from the interview point of view, not only in the technical round but also in the techno managerial round. You may get a lot of questions from the Service Cloud or the Sales Cloud. Sales Cloud is something which we'll cover tomorrow. But Service Cloud is something which is extremely important for you to know what it is and how we use it, what are the different functionality, what are the different objects in the Service Cloud, and what we basically work in a Service Cloud, what is known as Service Cloud. Okay, in techno managerial round or sometimes even in the managerial round, they'll ask questions related to what is Service Cloud, what kind of projects you have worked on. And if you know the fundamentals of Service Cloud, even if you have not worked in a real-time project on a Service Cloud, if you just know the fundamentals of Service Cloud, in an interview, that will give you a huge advantage over other candidates who don't know this, because most of the time service-based organizations hire you based on your experience on these clouds, because they'll be expecting you to work on similar projects when you join their company. Okay, so first thing first, see, there is nothing like a specific Service Cloud or Sales Cloud. The objects you are working on in a particular projects basically determine that if it is a Service Cloud or a Sales Cloud. And it is possible that even if it is, let's say, Sales Cloud, you might be using couple of Service Cloud objects. So it depends on core business of the company and why they are using Salesforce for that. Okay, let's say a company is selling something, they are selling services, they are selling couple of products and all. Okay, and they want to store the records of the product sold to their customers, and they want to store the leads, they want to capture the accounts and contacts, and mostly the data related to the sales. So then that is Sales Cloud. Okay, and if the same company is then using cases and other things to track the customer's problem, the problems which customers are facing in case they want to get service or something, then that is service. So Service Cloud basically is a part of salesforce.com where we are focused on customers problem or customers servicing part. Okay, let's say our company is selling the broadband. Okay, now we'll have customers who will be facing issues, we'll have customers who will have couple of questions related to our broadband product, we will have customers who will have feedbacks for us. Okay, so Service Cloud is a way to resolve their problems, to answer their query, to to accept their feedback, and to keep them happy, to be so that they so that we can retain our customers in a good manner. Service Cloud, sir. All right, sorry, can you guys please go on mute? Let me mute everyone.
अरे खाना
All right, sorry. So Service Cloud basically is a kind of way to handle your customers query, customers problem, and customers feedback, and resolve those problems so that you can you'll be able to retain your customers. The good your customer service is, the better your customer retention rate will be, and they'll repurchase your product, they will do a good promotion for your product. If your service is really good, there will be definitely be more sales in terms. So service is directly related to sales, the way you do it. Okay, now, how Service Cloud comes in picture, that is also really important to know. So Service Cloud comes in picture. See, the whole cycle starts from the Marketing Cloud. Okay, in the Marketing Cloud, let's say you are a broadband company and you will run a door-to-door campaigns. Okay, to let everybody know that there is a broadband company in the market and they are doing the promotion, so that you will get to know that there is a company, let's say, called Geo Fiber, who has launched a new internet broadband which is faster than everybody else, which is cheaper than everybody. So initially when they launched, they did door-to-door campaigns, they do online campaigns, they do a lot of webinars, they do a lot of marketing of that thing. So that thing comes from the marketing, where we kind of creates a lot of campaigns. What those campaigns does, they provide their phone numbers, they provide their contact detail, and then customers use those phone number and call them. Okay, so when customers call them and tell them that, yeah, I want to install your broadband and everything, those are basically nothing but the leads. Okay, So from the marketing cloud, those campaigns kicks in and provides us leads. Now those leads will go to the sales cloud, will float to the sales cloud, and in Salesforce, will create actually leads, and then those leads will be nurtured. The customers might just be, checking the rates. Customers might maybe requesting you to install broadband. Customers might be, providing some feedback with their actual things. So those leads basically will be your pipeline for your sales. Okay, you will work on those leads, your sales team will work on those leads, will nurture those leads, and then those leads will be converted into account contacts and opportunities, depending on how you nurture them. They will be stored in your sales cloud, and then the actual deal will happen. You will talk to customers and maybe install those things and everything, and customers will buy your service. Once customer buys your service, then your customers become the basically then that person will become your customer. Okay, and then you are responsible to provide him service as well, right? It could be free service, it could be a paid service or whatever it is, but then that comes to the service cloud domain, where you customers can talk to you. You might have given a different ways for customers to talk to you, like sending email or calling on the customer support number, whatever that way is, but that comes in the service cloud. So you will have to manage the customer in a way that you give him a good service. So that is service cloud. So it is started with the marketing cloud, came to the sales cloud, and then went to the service cloud. Where community cloud comes in a picture is that whenever you want those customers to have a portal for themselves, so that they can resolve most of their issues automatically. So you can create a community portal for your customers. You can publish all your knowledge article or all the frequently occurring issues: how to reset the modem, how to increase the internet speed, how to check if internet is coming or not. All the frequently occurring issues you can publish there, and then customers can see those things in the customer portal or the public portal, and they'll be able to resolve most of the issue by themselves. So that is basically the community cloud. So all these four clouds are connected with each other. Community cloud is not a mandatory thing. It could be just an optional thing. You just need to know what it is. Okay, and it has a bigger purpose to serve. It's not like just for the customer. It has a partner portals as well. Okay. Yes, now it was a community cloud earlier. Now we call it experience cloud. So they are same. The name has changed. Okay. So today we will be talking about the Service Cloud and specific features to Service Cloud. Okay, what are the major objects of Service Cloud? So these are the things we'll be talking about, and within the features there are multiple questions you may get, and I'll keep on talking about the questions as well. But in see, from the interview point of view, if you have not worked on Service Cloud, it is very important for you to know the basics of it. What is Service Cloud? Because the interviewer may expect you to understand or say yes, you at least know the basics of it. So those who have worked on Service Cloud already know about it. Okay, we are not going to go very deep on anything, but the aim here is to make sure that everybody at least understand the basics of Service Cloud, so that in an interview, when it comes to say yes or no on the Service Cloud, you can at least say that you know the basics of Service Cloud. Because saying you know the basics of Service Cloud versus saying that you don't know Service Cloud at all is huge. The difference is very huge, and the impact will also be very huge. So you just say that you know the basics of it, and I will tell you what the basics is. Okay. So Service Cloud refers to the services or the customer support module in Salesforce.com. It includes cases, solutions, knowledge article, entitlements, and assets. These are the major objects we use in the Service Cloud. Cases is the major object, okay, and the knowledge article, entitlement, milestone, assets are also the the objects which we use in the Service Cloud. Okay, is it community is it to communicate to external users from Salesforce? Yes, let's say we have our customers, we have our premium customers who we want to, give a login credential and password so that they can log into and access couple of things related to their accounts. So we will create a community for them. We will create a customer community for them. They will be able, and we will assign a customer community portal license to them. They will be able to log in there. They can raise a case from there as well. Okay, if we want to include that functionality, they can raise a case if they are facing any problem, or they can see all the frequently occurring problems, or they can see their previous cases created, or they can see their payments history and everything. So that depends on how we want to set this up. Most of the time customer community, we create when we have some premium customers to handle, or we have a service like that to give customer community more. Many times you will not even create customer community, so it depends on company to company. Okay, when I was in Paytm, there was no customer community for the customers, but when I was in, let's say, Cisco or Ericsson, they have created the customer portal, because their customers were not normal customers who have just done a recharge of 100 rupees. Their customers were the customers who have million billion dollar deals. So their customers were very very precious customers, and they needed to take care of them. Asset tabs is on Salesforce service app. See, asset is basically kind of tab which basically tells you that which product a customer has purchased. So asset comes under both these, but Service Cloud representative also need to check that which product customer has purchased. Okay, so this basically comes in the both the Sales Cloud as well as the Service Cloud. And there will always be, see, let's say if your company is using Sales Cloud, it's not like they cannot use case. Or if your company is using Service Cloud, it's not like they cannot use contacts and account. Basically what it tells is that the main core functionality of your company in this Salesforce instance is Service Cloud, but it could be possible that they might also be using accounts and contact to store the information related to their customers. Okay, how many community license? See, community license also have a separate way. So if I show you the Salesforce org, Pranay, okay, Pranay, I'll add you. Just a second. Okay, so if I go to company information, from the company information, you will be able to see how many community licenses you have, and you can purchase them separately as well. Okay, so I only have 2 licenses because obviously I'm a dev org. Customer community plus, we have 5 licenses. All of those 5 licenses are remaining. Okay, so from the user license list, you can see all the type of licenses available. Okay. Not this.
Mohit, are you sharing your screen?
See, we have customer community plus licenses, 5 licenses available. We have partner community license, we have customer community license, we have partner community login license. So these are the different types of community licenses only. Okay, there is a difference between all these things. We will also cover that thing, don't worry. So what is the difference between community plus and community license? So it basically related to the features available. Okay, so for the customer community and for the partner community, we get separate license, and we can purchase more as well, depending on what kind of. Okay, just a second. All right. So in this screen, you guys can see we have the customer community plus license, we have the partner community license, we have the partner community login license, we have customer community. So there are different types of licenses when it comes to the communities. Okay, and all these licenses provide different features, so we will talk about the differences as well. But for now, you understand that these are the licenses we get or we can purchase. So let's say if we have more customers, we can ask for more partner community licenses or customer community licenses. Okay, Right, coming back to the part. So, see, what I was trying to say is that even if let's say you are using Service Cloud, it's not necessary that you will only use Service Cloud or you will only use, the objects related to Service Cloud. You're free to use. See, you have got the Salesforce, and it depends on you which object you want to use. Okay, when we say that the company is using Service Cloud or the Sales Cloud, we basically want to say that the core functionality of that company or the core purpose this particular Salesforce instance for that company is Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. Okay, but it's not like if we use Service Cloud, we are only limited to use the objects related to Service Cloud. We still pretty much can use the accounts and contacts and leads if we want to, or if we are working in a Sales Cloud, we still can pretty much use cases, and that happens most of the time that we end up using the objects of other clouds as well in a particular cloud. So it's not like you will Salesforce will ask you that you want to use Sales Cloud. Okay, now you cannot use cases because you have opted for Sales Cloud. No, Salesforce given you liberty to use whatever objects fits in your model. And then if there are the objects which you want to create as a custom object, they are not fitting your standard model, data model, then you can create custom objects depending on that. Okay, I'll again switch back to the. So you guys are able to see my screen, the PPT screen or the Salesforce screen?
Mohit, sorry for interrupt. Actually, I gave one interview and I face one questions. Is it not related for this service cloud? It's a simple question. So he asked me, let me know about a standard object and custom object of the example. So I have gave the answer about a standard is that account, contact, and domain and case and lead. That is the standard object. And custom object is depends on me, which I have to create is a maximum going to 3,000 custom object we can create. Is that correct or what's that? Or any
See,
example for the
okay. Did he ask you that how many custom objects you can create?
No, he not asked me how many, but he asked me about examples of the standard object and custom object.
See, how many custom objects we can create depends a
Three-
lot on the license type as well. So whenever you get these kind of question, always play with licenses as well. I mean the kind of licenses.
But any specific custom object also, I have told to him 3,000. We can create
Yeah, that
3,000.
is what Salesforce is also saying. We can create 3,000 total custom objects per organization. Uh, but that will also include the objects you have installed via App Exchange. Let's say you installed any app via App Exchange and that itself has, let's say, 10 custom objects, then you will those 10 will also be consumed as your limit. Okay.
As for example, could you give me a standard
Yes. See,
object?
so for as per the
Okay.
Salesforce, for an unlimited edition, you can create 2,000 custom object and 100 object you can install. Okay, as an App Exchange. Let's say you installed CPQ from the App Exchange. Okay, CPQ module you install from App Exchange. So CPQ module will have couple of custom objects and functionality built within that managed package. Okay, those objects will also be counted as your number of objects in the org. Okay, so if we include that, and let's say if those limit are reached, then you will not be able to create additional custom objects if you already have so many objects which you have installed as a part of installed package. So 2,000 objects you can create and install 100 objects from the App Exchange as a part of installing the managed packages.
Any more example of a standard object we have told to him only is account, contact,
See,
case, lead, domain.
there are so many standard objects: account, contacts, lead, opportunities, order, code, quote line item, product, asset,
Product.
so many. There are cases, services, knowledge, solutions. There are so many standard objects in Salesforce, depending on which cloud we are talking about. Okay. See, Sales Cloud has so many objects. If you see the schema of Sales Cloud, you will get confused with the objects. There are so
Mhm.
many. So that is why I've started with the Service Cloud, which is a bit easier than the Sales Cloud. Okay.
Yeah, it is sometimes interviewer asked to me a very low level question, then suddenly I'm going to blank. He asked to me
That is
application.
happens. That is why we are spending more time here, because most of the time people write triggers in good way,
Yeah.
yet they fail to answer the easier question which they should never fail. That is why we are spending more time on the service cloud and sales cloud, and I want to clear all these things because these are the easy thing. We should never fail because of the easier things. We should fail because of the hard thing, and sometimes those things which gives us more learning rather than these things which we miss because we were not focused enough on the topics which we should be aware of. So that is why I want to spend more time here on the service cloud and sales cloud, because I know people fail to answer even the smaller question like what are the objects in the service cloud. I have seen people failing, not being able to tell the what are the objects of service cloud, or what are the features of service cloud, what is service cloud, and they start sweating when we ask question related to the actually cloud. If someone has not worked on sales cloud, and if I ask him a basic question of sales cloud, even if he know, he'll not be able to tell, because in his mind he feels that he has not worked on sales cloud, so he'll not be able to tell. Even though he the answer he know in his mind is correct, he'll never say that answer because he feels that he'll sound stupid because he has not worked on that thing. So that is why I want to cover the basics, so that at least in an interview you will not be blank if any question comes from sales cloud or service cloud and you have not worked on those. Okay. So service cloud basically contains the objects like cases, solutions, knowledge article, entitlement, assets, and milestone. Okay. Service cloud automation. There are various automations in so any question till now on the service cloud basics, like what it is, why we use it, how do we see if we are using service cloud or sales cloud? Feel free to ask, guys. It's okay. No, no, see, in my opinion, no question is silly. If you know the answer, good. If you don't know, you should ask your questions. Never think that I may sound silly, because when I was a student, I mean, I obviously still am a student, but when I, go through any training, I sometimes feel that, look, I'm not going to ask. I would rather Google it later on, but I will not ask in a live class, because people will feel that he's dumb, or what kind of question is this he's asking, so basic. So don't think
Okay,
that way.
Mohit, let me know one thing. Actually, in our Service Cloud, we have basically solved the complaint and queries, which is and I have to store the some information which is an account and contact. So in the Service Cloud, we have using also opportunity or not?
Yeah, we can pretty much use opportunities, also the contact, also the account, but what determines that you are using service cloud or the sales cloud is the fact that what you are using this particular Salesforce instance for. So if you are using this particular instance to resolve customer queries, or to basically work more on the cases, then it is service cloud. And if you are using this service cloud to basically store the leads, contacts, and accounts information, so that you can later on process on those leads and close the deals and sale, create contracts and all, then that is sales cloud. It might be possible that you might be using all the sales cloud and service cloud objects at both in a single instance. That is also possible, but there will be a distinction between what you are using that Salesforce instance for, because using sales cloud and service cloud both in a same instance is very difficult, and it will be a nightmare for developers. It will be a nightmare for someone who is managing that, or to do both of these things, because both of these things are pretty different from each other, and it will be really difficult to manage both of these things in a single org. So that is why most of the time companies either use the sales cloud or the service cloud, but there is no restriction from Salesforce side that you cannot use both of these as well. Okay. So when your core functionality is selling something, you will use it for sales cloud. When your core functionality or the reason for using the Salesforce is to provide service to your customers, then that is service cloud. I'll give you a live example. So when I was working for Paytm, they were using Salesforce to resolve customer queries and their problems and everything. They were not using Salesforce to sell their products, because selling their product was live on a website. Like, they had paytm.com, they had Paytm apps, so all the selling was happening through app. There was no selling happening through the Salesforce, right? There was no selling happening through Salesforce. But what they were using Salesforce for, was that they have given customers an email ID, like in case you feel any problem, you can send us an email at email@paytm.com or whatever mail they gave. The moment customer used to send us email on that email ID, we used to get cases here in Salesforce. Okay, so that's how it was working. Selling part was not in Salesforce at all. Okay, that was one example. When I was in other companies, when I worked for Cisco or when I worked for Coca-Cola or PepsiCo, they were using actually Salesforce for selling. Okay, so all their Sales Cloud related data was in Salesforce. Sales orders were created within Salesforce, codes were created within Salesforce, and they were actually selling that product with the help of Salesforce. All the order related information was there in Salesforce. You can see that which customer has purchased what product and what was the deal value, when that deal value is expiring, when the contract is expiring. You can see all that data. But they were also using cases. What they were using cases for is that they were sometimes getting cases from couple of customers, especially specific customers. So they were not getting a lot of cases. They were hardly getting 15-20 cases a day, so they were able to manage that. But in a company where they are getting a lot of cases, like in Paytm, we were getting around 1 lakh cases every day. So that itself was very hard thing to manage. We could not have afforded to have any other Salesforce things related to the company on the same instance, because then it will become very difficult to manage the instance as well. We have governor limits as well. We cannot do, let's say, in a 24 hours, if we have a certain limits, we cannot exceed that. So we have to think about the sustainability point of view as well. How will I be able, let's say if we are getting 1 lakh cases every day, how will I be able to store those cases? Where will I be able to store those cases? We have a limited space in Salesforce available, and these are our customer cases, so we cannot delete those cases as well, right? I hope you got some clarity about it in the real life as well. Let me know if you want me to further explain it with other examples as well. And if you have any doubt, you're always welcome to call me and get those doubts clarified. Okay. Okay.
Sir, I have one question. How we can say like when I'm working on Sales Cloud and Service Cloud?
Sorry, your voice was a bit low. Can you repeat again?
Yeah, I'm saying just a second. Is it okay now?
Yeah. Tell me.
I'm saying when we can say like I'm working on the Sales Cloud and I'm working on the Service Cloud or I'm working on the Marketing Cloud
Yeah,
like that.
so you need to understand what I mean. This company is using this particular instance of Salesforce for which purpose, whether they want to service their customers or they want to sell their products. That will define whether you are working on Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. And it is not necessary that if you are working in a Salesforce instance, that necessary is a Service Cloud or the Sales Cloud. That could be a custom Salesforce environment as well, where you have customized everything, where you have custom objects. Let's say there is a loan management tool. Okay, they are not selling something, they are not providing service at all. So they are neither working on Sales Cloud nor on the Service Cloud. They are just a loan application management tool where they are storing the loan related information of their customers. Okay, so they are neither using Salesforce nor using this neither using Sales Cloud nor using the Service Cloud. So there can also be some instances like this as well. So what you are using this particular Salesforce instance for determines that whether you're using Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or hybrid cloud, or altogether a customized application which has nothing to do with the Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And one more thing, like, see, I'm working on a project.
Mm-hmm.
We are basically providing a service to our client. So, right. So, but my colleagues are saying it's a Sales Cloud, but I am thinking we are providing the service now, so it's a Service Cloud.
Okay. See, we are providing service. Does not Are we
And
charging for
one
service?
more thing, the whole application is customized application. We build the application on our old.
Okay, so the service we are providing, is it chargeable? What is information we store in that instance? What we actually do in that instance?
Actually, we are storing the data of the customers.
Mm-hmm. And then that
Mm,
data we use for.
just storing and just for storing the data. Like
So
uh,
it's a customized application. It's not necessary that you categorize it in the Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. That is completely okay. That if you are using in a customized application, which has nothing to do with neither the Sales Cloud nor the Service Cloud.
mhm.
When you want to categorize it, then you will see that whether we are storing that data as a lead, or will that lead going to give us a sales funnel for our future, or we are doing sales with the help of those leads in, let's say, any other tool like SAP or any other tool. Then you can kind of say that it is a Sales Cloud, because we are storing the lead related information, and then later on, with the help of those leads, we are doing, or trying to crack the deals with our customers. That could be a Sales Cloud. But it is completely okay if you don't want to categorize and say that it was a custom application. You should have, I mean, it's just that you have to explain this in an interview. Whenever an interviewer comes, and you have to explain this in an interview, that it was a hybrid application where we were neither inclined towards Sales Cloud nor to the Service Cloud. It was just to store the customer information. And then what we were doing with the customer information is something you need to explain to him, like how you were doing, how you were using that data to do the meaningful sales or to do the meaningful service. Okay.
Yeah, I got the point. Yes.
If
Okay.
Mohammed, last question is asked by Preetham, right?
Yes.
Can I,
Mm,
may I know, Preetham, which platform are you working? Like banking, hospital, or any like?
pharmaceutical. My domain is pharmaceutical domain.
Then pharmaceutical is sales, right?
Yeah.
Not
No.
necessarily. I mean, it's not like you have, based on the domain, you can say that it is sales or service. I mean, pharmaceuticals can be sales or the service, or can be hybrid as well, just to store the data.
Yeah, it can be sales or service. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, it's not, see, unless it is very clear that we are doing sales or we are doing service, it's okay to say that it is not categorized within sales or service. It has currently I'm working in a custom
Yeah,
application
it
where we
is
are
not
storing that.
categorized. No, Mohit, it is not categorized. But here, just I'm saying general point. Suppose I also mentioned the last project as a pharmaceutical, like clinical trial medical center. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but if I said I am worked on marketing cloud, then he will next question is where is the marketing cloud means banks, hospitals, right? But I
No,
didn't work.
no, that's not necessary. Marketing cloud be anywhere. I mean, marketing cloud can be anywhere in any company.
No, but not clinical trials, right? But not clinical
Why
trials,
not?
marketing.
Why not? Why not? Clinical trials can have campaigns, and then you can get leads of those customers, which you can later on use in the Sales Cloud. It's not necessary. See, based on the domain, we can never categorize if it is a Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. Same company
But
can be using sales, service, marketing, all three clouds. Same company.
I don't know what is the reason, but here, vendors already declared that suppose I said I worked also marketing cloud, but they keep aside the resume because they already know that I'm fake.
No, no,
They already they decided here their self.
no, no, that is
I
something
don't know.
which is outside of the Salesforce. But what I'm trying to tell you is that we, based
Mhm.
on the domain, that is basically a resume selection part, which is outside of Salesforce. But what I'm trying to say is that based on the domain of a company, we can never say that it is a Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud or the Experience Cloud or the Marketing Cloud. It depends on the use cases of that company, why that company is using, for which purpose that company is using Salesforce. A same company can be using all three types of Salesforce, all three clouds of Salesforce, and it is possible that they may have different instances of Salesforce for different purposes. So based on domain, we can never categorize. There is no hard rule to categorize based on the domain. Okay. and
Then
and and
can I
re-
say, okay, then can I
Mhm.
say only worked on marketing and sales and service cloud? Because I don't want to mention marketing because
Yes, why not? See,
it is a
marketing.
base subject, right? It is a
Yeah,
base topic.
marketing cloud is basically a different kind
Yeah.
of a thing. It has a different tool, it has a different way of working. So that is why the moment you say marketing cloud, you'll say that this one is different. So for the marketing cloud related requirement, they will only take the interview of the people who have worked on marketing cloud. But for the other things, everything is fine. If you have worked on sales, you can work on service. But there is a common misconception that if someone has worked on marketing, that is the marketing part only, that is only useful for the marketing part. So yes, you can say you have worked on sales and service, that is fine.
Okay.
And I have also seen the people who have worked on marketing cloud, they prefer marketing cloud only because that they're comfortable with that domain. Okay. All right. Now we'll talk about a couple of major objects. We have already talked
Hey,
about
Mohit.
cases. Yeah, hi.
Hi, Mohit. This one question, like, what is the like drawback of Sales Cloud, and when we should go for a Sales Cloud, and when we should go for the custom object which provides the same functionality as
Okay.
Sales Cloud.
See, Sales Cloud basically has couple of advantage. That is why companies goes to Sales Cloud. And if you have to go for a customized application, you have to build those things on your own. So Sales Cloud basically has already a data model created, which contains leads, contacts, accounts, opportunities. And this can be extended to order code, quote line, contracts, and couple of other objects. So that data model is already built by Salesforce. We have a functionality. Let's say we convert a lead, then auto accounts, contacts, and opportunities will be automatically created. All those functionalities are already created by Salesforce. Okay, so if you have a business case where you can fit in this model, okay, then you have to use the Sales Cloud, because you should never use something customized for the things which are already built by Salesforce. They have done all the hard work. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to create custom objects and build all the coding and logic in the backend by your own for the things which are already available in Salesforce. But if you have a business case which does not fit in this data model, or you want a tweak in this, or you want to create couple of custom objects, and you want to mix a hybrid approach, like you want to use lead, contacts, and opportunities, but you don't want to use the order code, quote line item, you want to have your own custom objects, then you can use on top of whatever Salesforce has provided. You can use that, plus you can create your own things and mix them. Let's say if you have a business model which does not want to use any of the things provided by Salesforce, then you are free to use all the things created by custom objects, and you build all the logics in your Apex classes, triggers, and everything in the backend, and you can work on that. The advantage what Sales Cloud give us is that there are already pre-built things. Okay, let's say you are currently using lead, contacts, opportunities, all these things. Okay, and you convert leads, accounts, contacts will be created automatically. You can also create opportunities automatically. There are so many features comes with the opportunities. Okay, like when you create an opportunity, you have an option to use the additional CPQ code, pricing, contracts, products. There are so many objects in it. Once you install the CPQ, there are so many automations, like orders will be created automatically the moment you click on a checkbox. Okay, contracts will be created automatically. So it comes with a lot of pre-built features which can help business a lot. Okay, but if you have a very simple use case and standard Salesforce objects does not fit into that, you are free to use your own custom objects as well. Okay, so the deciding factor will be your business use case. Okay, and how that use case is going to fit in the standard Salesforce data model. If this is a good match, we are good to use. If it is not, we can go for hybrid approach as well, so that whatever Salesforce has pre-built, we are not wasting that thing, because whatever they have pre-built, we are getting it for free. We need not to write a single line of code. Whenever we have to build something from scratch, that is a lot of technical debt. That is a lot of costing to company, because whenever you have to build something from scratch, that does not only require coding, that also requires a lot of planning, preparation for that, and then coding, then testing, then maintenance, then deployment. So that is a lot of cost, a lot of $1 million to that company, which Salesforce has already built. So they'll definitely prefer whatever Salesforce has already built, because how we think is not the way companies think. They think about the implementation, the costing of that implementation, the maintainability of that implementation, and the future scope of that implementation. So they want to create something which is scalable as well in future. And with the custom code, you will always have dependency on the developers, dependency on the technical team. And it's not like you only hire the technical developers. You will have to hire the testers, you will have to hire the administrator, you will have to hire the technical architects. So there will be a lot of costing involved. Okay, so they think from that point of view.
So,
So
okay, like
just
as
a
you
second.
mentioned, like it needs a lot of investment. Like instead, if we go for a custom object, that's correct.
Just a
So,
second. There is
uh,
someone in the back end who is
like
also talking.
if they ask, like,
Sorry, guys, I'm not able to hear properly.
okay,
Let me mute everyone and then you can unmute yourself. Yeah, can you repeat again?
yeah, thanks for that elaborated, like explanation. I got through all this stuff. The thing is, like, there is no such kind of drawback. It only depends upon the customer use case or the requirement. Correct? You just explained about the sales cloud,
Santosh,
like
sorry,
since
your
I asked
voice is
about some
breaking a lot.
drawbacks. So
Either
it depends
if
upon the use case, like customer use case.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
maybe I will ping
Yeah,
that.
you can just chat,
Question.
ping it on the chat. And
Yeah, I
the
will
the
ping.
drawback I see is the, see, you will not be able to make any changes to whatever Salesforce had built. So let's say there is a data model which which connects leads, contacts, and opportunities the way Salesforce wants. So if you want to tweak that, you will not be able to. So whatever Salesforce has given you, and the data model and everything, you cannot tweak that. You cannot make contacts the parent of account. Okay, account is a parent of contact. So if you have a use case where you want to tweak these things, then you will not be able to. Okay, that's a data model Salesforce has created by looking into the bigger picture of the industry. So that's what you cannot do. So then in that case, you have to go for custom objects. But otherwise, I don't see many disadvantage of using the Sales Cloud or whatever Salesforce has already given. Okay, but you, when you ping your question, I'll you guys able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, moving on to our object. See, case is the main object. We all know what case is. Basically, case is a whenever customer face any issue, they either send us email, or they in sometimes they're in the website, they can contact us by filling the form and all. So what happens in Salesforce is that we create a case for that customers, and our customer support executive work on that cases, and there are a lot of functionalities provided in cases. We will talk about it, right? Solution is also another object. Solution is a detailed description of customer's problem and its solution. So solution is nothing but the problem of the customers and what is the possible solution. Solution is basically an internal Salesforce object we use for our internal customer support executive, so that whenever a new customer's issue comes in, they can check what, I mean, is it a well-known issue we already have solution for, and then they can provide solutions based on that solution. Okay, so it depends on us whether we want to host it internally or we want to host it on the public portal, so that customers can see those solutions. But this is an object which was used in the Salesforce Classic. It is not available in Lightning, and it will no longer be available in the Lightning. So to replace solutions, Salesforce has come up with the knowledge articles. Okay, knowledge articles are basically they have kind of provided all the functionalities given in the solution object, plus couple of additional features in the knowledge article. Knowledge articles are similar to solutions but have a lot of more features. Knowledge article requires an additional feature license. So when you go to the user tab and the detail of user, there's a checkbox called knowledge article. The moment you check it, then only you will be able to see all the knowledge articles available in the org. As a Salesforce customer support executive, you need whenever you work on a cases, you will always have access to all the knowledge articles, so that you can check if we have faced something similar to that in past, okay, with this customer or with other customers. Let's say there is a problem that customers are getting logged out from their screen automatically, okay, on their account. So if many customers are facing that issue, then our technical team will definitely look into the issue, create a knowledge article for that. And then it depends on us if you want to publish it on the public platform, or you want to publish it internally, so that only our executive can look into that and can resolve the issue. Sometimes whenever we have created a customer portal, okay, these knowledge articles are accessible there as well. We provide knowledge article access. So let's say customer is facing any issue, he'll go to his login, we'll see, okay, he'll already be able to see all the knowledge articles, so he'll try to see. Sometimes when you raise a case in any company, they'll ask you, tell us something about your issue. And the moment you describe your issue, they couple of knowledge article pops up in the screen. Those are nothing but the knowledge articles, so that you can, without contacting the customer support, if there is any chance you can solve your issue by yourself, you click on that knowledge article and you will be able to see that this is already a known issue, and this is the fix you can try and resolve the issue. So knowledge articles main intention is to make sure that it makes customer support executives job easy. Plus, if customer is well aware, then he can also resolve the issue by himself if we have published that knowledge article in public. Sometimes many companies publish those knowledge article on their website as well. So the moment you start creating a new case or new problem, you will see a bunch of knowledge articles already available there, so you can refer them as well. Once it is available, enabled, we cannot disable it. That is fine. All right. The other major object is entitlement. Entitlement is basically what a customer is entitled to get. Okay, let's say you purchased a refrigerator from Chroma. Okay, now that refrigerator definitely is entitled to have, let's say, a year-long warranty, plus let's say you have taken couple of additional warranties, you have extended your warranty. So all those 1 year warranty, extended 2 year warranty, and free repair and everything, all those entitlements, those are basically nothing but the entitlement. Those are the entitlement which will be attached with you as a customer, so that whenever you raise let's say a repair request on that particular product, customer representative will check whether you are entitled to get that the repair request or not, whether you are within warranty or not, whether you have purchased this product or not. Okay, so those entitlements basically tell you what you are entitled to get. Okay, sometimes you pay premium fee for that entitlement. Let's say you have got the extended warranty for 3 years, so you have to pay some fee for it. Sometimes you get it for free, like whenever you purchase a new product, you will get some by default warranty for a year or two. So that is basically free. But whether it is free or a premium price, it will be listed under the entitlements. Okay, so the moment it is listed, the customer support representative will check it, and then will be able to work on this question. Will verify if you are entitled or not. If you are, then obviously he will raise a request for you, or he will definitely raise a case for you, so that you get the free service or whatever it is. Entitlements clear, guys?
Sir.
Okay, then comes the asset. Okay, companies, let's say company is selling a product. Chroma is selling refrigerators, televisions, everything. But asset basically tells you which product have you purchased. So asset basically is nothing but a an association between a product and a customers. Okay, there can be n number of product company might be selling, but asset tells you that which product a particular customer has purchased. Okay, so that customer has got this asset. Okay, product will be, let's say, a refrigerator, customer will be, let's say, ABC, and then asset tells that this ABC customers has purchased an XYZ product on this date. This is the serial number, this is the purchase date, and couple of other information related to that specific product. Okay, that is asset for us. Okay, and asset is also very important, because whenever you let's say raise a request to get a refund on something, customer support executive will definitely check the asset first. whether you have purchased that asset or not, and then he will check the entitlement, whether you are entitled to get a refund or not. Okay, so assets and entitlement both becomes really important. Now coming to the services of Service Cloud and the features of Service Cloud. Okay, features are really important for you to know because these are the things which are mostly known. The very important question is what are the major objects of Service Cloud? Then comes the features of it, and each of these features have a separate question. So they sometimes ask you what is web to case, or they'll ask you what is email to case, all those things. Web to case is nothing but whenever a company on their website publish a web page, or let's say a button, created a button, on click of that button you will get a form, enter your full name, last name, and the problem description, phone number, and submit it. The moment you click on submit, you will your case will be created within Salesforce. So this web to case basically allows a company to create a Salesforce case from your website in Salesforce. Okay, so from your website you were able to create a case for your customers. This functionality is known as a web to case. If I show this to you in Salesforce screen, let me know if you are able to see my Salesforce screen, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
I can
Perfect.
see it.
So we have got web to case, web to lead as well. Okay, so we will go to web to case.
I think web to lead we have used on a sales cloud, am I right? Web to lead.
Yeah, web to lead will be used in the Sales Cloud, and web to case will be used in the Service Cloud. Okay.
And
Web
email to case
in a,
is also in Service Cloud, right?
Yes, email to case is also case, whatever related to case is in the Service Cloud. Okay, so it is saying
Okay.
that you have to first enable it. I have already enabled it, so it is enabled in my org. In the orgs where it is not enabled, you have to first enable it. Default case origin is basically web for web to cases. For email to cases, default case origin will be email. So there are multiple options. Okay, and default response template, this is the template we will tell the customers the moment case is created. We will tell the customers that their case has been created. We can set this up, we can set a format like we have acknowledged your cases, because it is very important for customers to know that the case has been created and somebody is working on it. So sometimes we set a default response template which basically tells that your case number is this, we have created a case for you and we are working on it. You can expect a reply within 24 hours or something. Okay, something like this. What happens is that first you have to generate a form for it. Okay, so what you're gonna do, let's say you want to whatever on your website you want to publish a form, right? You need to get this form to customers to fill their first name, last name, and email ID, enter the description. So these are the fields you want to add in that form, and enter the URL that user will be returned to. This is something the URL you need to define whether the user will be returned to. Most of the time it will be your company's URL. Okay, if you want to include the captcha, matlab, like the security features, sometimes when you enter the form there comes the security screen like enter the captcha image or something. If you want to include that, you can also include that, or disable, then you can disable it. Let's say it will generate a form for you. Now this form is something which you will copy and provide it to somebody who is handling your website. Let's say somebody who is handling your website will be adding a button, and on the button this form will be pasted, so that whenever customer click on that button, the form will be given to the customer. So what it is saying, copy and paste the sample HTML below and send it to your webmaster. Webmaster is nothing but the person who is handling your website. Okay, most of the time it will be your IT team. So you need to give this web form to your IT team, and then they will embed this web form on their website. Okay, the moment they embed this web form on their website, there will be a form on your website. On the click of button, that form will be generated. Customer will fill that form and click on save. A case will be created in Salesforce. That's what web to case is. The moment case is created, then your customer support executive can start working on those cases, depending on how you are routing those cases to those customer support executive. It could be assignment rule, or it could be custom rule configured by you. Okay. So web to case is a very simple feature. What you need to understand is what you do inside it. You first need to enable it. Then you have to create a form for it. You have to give that form to your, webmaster, your IT team. Okay. And then they will embed it on your website. And the moment it is embedded, the customers can start raising cases by filling that form, and case will be created within Salesforce. That's how it works. Okay. You just need to know these basics of it. It's not like you need to know how to embed that form in the website. That is not your task to do. If you know, that's pretty good. That is also very easy thing. They need not to do much, to be very frank. It is very easy thing. It's just that we do not get to do that thing because we as a Salesforce developer do not get to manage the website of a company, right? That's the IT team's job.
If interviewer asks to me elaborate web to case, then we can say what a web to case is the basically get the leads or any complaints or query through the website. That means customers are create or generate the any complaints or query in a website, or he can fill the form. Then we get the directly complaints or query through website or portals. That would be
Right,
fine.
right. So we embed a form in the website of the company so that customers can fill the data, can describe their problems and save their request. And we will generate a case automatically within Salesforce on which our Salesforce service representative can work on, and then we can resolve the cases. That's how, I mean, it depends on, it's not, there is not a standard definition for it. If you understand it, you will be able to explain it. You will be able to explain it to interviewer. See, somebody who is taking your technical interview, okay, he is also a kind of developer or a senior developer, so he understand the developer's definition, he understand the admin's definition. It's not like you have to be very well versed with the definition. It's just that you have to explain it to him. So if you understand how that form is created, okay, if you know that this form is created within Salesforce, we can select the fields which we want to display on that form. You will be able to explain that. If you don't know that, then it will be very difficult for, if you just have seen it from Google and try to explain it, then you will not be able to. But if you have seen actually it on screen, then you will be able to explain it pretty well. I'm very confident on that. Okay. And they don't expect you to be very thorough with the definition. They expect you to know the things, right? And if you know the things, that's good enough. Just explain it the way you have seen it on the screen. Explain it the way you have seen it on the on while doing those things in your. So whatever I am telling you, you go to your Salesforce org, see how to enable web to case, and then try to create a form, generate that form. You want to see that form, right? So it is just a normal HTML, copy it in the HTML and read it, how this form is generated, all those things, right? Save it in any other file and then, run it, see what that form is giving you. Got it? Okay, then comes the case auto assignment rule. Auto assignment rule is basically assigning the cases, automatically to the different queues or to the different users. Okay, assignment rule is extremely important. It is very important that we get a lot of interview questions on that. There are basically two types of assignment rule. One is for cases, one is for lead. Okay, so in here we will be talking about cases, but lead is also pretty similar to case. Okay, I'll show you the Salesforce screen.
Yes, please brief me about assignment tool from scratch. So I got a 3 times question. What is the
Yep.
assignment tool and how many types? He interviewer asks that means he wants to know about
Yes, assignment
briefly.
rules are extremely important, and there are only two types of assignment rule. One is for cases, one is for lead. If you can see here also, there is lead assignment rule, there is case assignment rule. Okay. Case assignment rule basically tells you that automatically assign cases to a user or queue based on the criteria you define. So you define a criteria. First, the most important questions comes from this topic is that how many active assignment rules we can have in Salesforce org. So there is only one assignment rule which can be active. If I create another assignment rule, Let's say I created another assignment rule, test assignment rule, and marked it active and save it. Our first assignment rule will become the deactive, because there can only be one active assignment rules in an org. Within that assignment rule, we can have multiple entry criterias. What we most of the time get confused with is these are the different assignment rules. These are not the different assignment rules. There is only one assignment rule. These are the different entry criteria. So never get confused because of this. Interviewer will try to confuse you is that I have seen multiple assignment rules and you can provide order and all. You can say that no, those are not assignment rule. Those are the different entry criterias of that assignment rule. Assignment rule can only be one active assignment rule in an org. If you try to create more active assignment rule, the previously active assignment rule will become deactivated. Okay, so I'm going to activate this one because it has multiple entry criteria. And now coming to this, there are multiple entry criteria and there is an order. So what it is saying, if case description contains recharge, or if case subject contains recharge, then assign it to recharge queue. Okay. And if let's say the second order is case description contains product and case subject contains product, assign it to shopping queue. So what it is trying to say is that check for this criteria, and if it matches, then go to this queue. Let's say you have multiple rule entries. Okay, this matches. Let's say case contains recharge as well as product. Okay, in the case of there are multiple criterias matching the line, this will be evaluated first, and this will, the moment it got match in the assigned to category, it will be assigned to. It will not further check these criterias. Getting my point? So the order basically defines that in which order you are going to evaluate, and the moment you get a match, you assign it to that match rather than going through the whole list. Then you will not go through whole list. If you created a case which contains a recharge as well as product, and you come here, you will see that it contains recharge, you will assign it to recharge queue. You will not go to check the second entry because the order of this was higher than this one. Okay, if you did not find a match here, then only you will go to the second order. If you did not found a match here, then you will go to the third. But if you found a match on the first order, then you will assign it to recharge queue and move out from this queue. Okay, look for the other cases. Getting my point, guys? Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And
For me.
this is assigned to can be a user or can be a queue. It can be a queue because recharge is basically a queue. Shopping is a queue, and this is the user. Okay, so we can assign cases to queue as well as to the user depending on our use cases. What happens in the Service Cloud is that most of the time we assign it to queues, and then from the queues there are various users available on that queue who can pick the cases on the first come first serve basis. Cases defined within the queue. Let's say there are 10 cases in the queue, and whenever let's say there are 5 users, so those 5 users log in, they will get the cases on the first come first serve basis. There will be no round robin by default. If you want to implement round robin, there are different thing called the omni channel in Service Cloud. Okay, which is the deeper topic. I will talk about that as well. All right. Assignment rules is extremely important, so that I've got couple of questions, and I have also written it on notes as well. There is one thing called do not reassign owner. That is very important for you to know. Okay, just a second. I'll show you. Let's say I edit it. People ask a lot of questions on assignment rules, and that is why I want to make sure that you are clear on that. So here you can select the sort order. This is the first order. The criteria says that description contains recharge, subject contains recharge, assign it to 1 or 2, and assign it to recharge queue. Email template you can define if you want to provide an email template for this. This is basically an internal assignment. So cases will be assigned to recharge queue. So there is no need to provide email template because this is a queue, not a particular owner. Had you been assigned it to a particular owner, you could have given an email template and can inform that user that this case has been assigned to you or something like that. There is one checkbox: do not reassign owner. Okay, This checkbox basically tells you, if you check this, it means the case will be assigned to this particular queue for the first time. But after that, every time it meets the criteria, it will not be assigned to this particular queue. What happens is that, let's say we've got a new case which description contains recharge, and we assign it to the recharge queue. But later on, let's say we change the case case type. It is still meeting the criteria, that description is still contains the recharge, but we do not want to reassign it to that particular queue, because we have a system like we only want to assign it to a queue when the case comes as a new case, and then we have to assign it to couple of users. So in that case, we will use this checkbox, and we will only assign it to the first time. Okay. So do not reassign owner means that just for the first time you will assign it to this particular queue. Later on, whenever criteria meets, you will not reassign it to. Okay. And if it is unchecked, then every time it meets the criteria, it can assign it to the recharge queue. So this is also very important. I have written it on the notes as well. You guys can go through, and these are the things you guys can practically implement in your dev org. Okay, these are pretty easy things to implement in the dev org. I highly recommend everybody to go and implement it in your dev org as well. Okay. And in case of any doubt, we will be taking doubts tomorrow on this thing. Case escalation rule. Okay, case escalation rule is also pretty important feature. Whenever, let's say, we have defined some rule that if a case is created as a new case, and if, let's say, within 8 hours, if someone is not working on that case, then we have to escalate a case. Or let's say we assigned a case to a particular user, but if within 8 hours he did not reply to customers, then we have to escalate that case to a customer. Or let's say we have a scenario where a high priority case comes in, okay, and we want to immediately escalate it to the higher management. Or let's say we have a scenario where someone has tagged our CEO, or someone has created a case from a Twitter, and we want to immediately escalate because that case has a social media visibility, and we have to resolve that immediately. So whenever you might have seen various scenarios where if you tag company CEO on Twitter, or if you directly tweet about the problem in Twitter, you get easy resolutions rather than trying the right way, like contacting the customer care and all that thing. So if you immediately tweet on Twitter or immediately tag the CEO, you will get a response earlier than the other cases. That is happens only because of the escalation rules, because most of the companies have escalations rule. That is that, let's say somebody has tagged your CEO, escalate that case to to be resolved immediately. So a case escalation rule is similar. Whenever a case is not worked upon for a specific time, that time and everything you need to set. Okay, you need to define the rules for it, and then that will be actually escalated to the higher management. Okay, so I am going to show you this thing again on the Salesforce screen. Okay, the reason why I'm showing you everything is that the moment you get these questions, you should not feel awkward that you only have theoretical knowledge about it. Not I am only showing you, I also want you to go through and practice these things on your dev org. Okay, case escalations. Escalation rules. So just like the assignment rule, it can also have a one standard, only one escalation rule active, and then we can have multiple criterias. Okay. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that the order is one, rule entry criteria is this: if case origin is equals to email, then escalate at 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, if customers did not get any reply, then assign it to in this user. Okay, and we can also notify the manager as well. Template will be this. So we define that if within 30 minutes a customer did not get a reply and case origin was email, then assign the case to this particular user. And this could be the manager of this user as well. So we can also notify the manager. This is just a DevOps, so we do not have the flexibility to use as many users as we want, but that's how we set this up. There is something called business hours setting. Business hour setting basically tells you that if, I mean, we can define if it is within your business hour. So we have SLAs, right? SLA basically is called the service level agreement. We basically have service level agreements, and it, I mean, the rule depends on the company to company, but let's say if SLA is that within 8 hours a customer should get a reply from us. That's the agreement I had with our customers when they purchased our service. This was a SLA that whenever they face any problem, I will reply them within 8 hours. So 8 hours becomes the SLA for us. But 8 hours of a working hour or the I mean, normal day 8 hours. Like if we want to include the Saturday, Sunday as well in these hours, or we can define the business hours. So let's say our business hours is 9 to 5. So that 9 to 5 is basically 8 hours for us. Okay. If the case was raised, let's say at 11 p.m. night, then our SLA will starts at 9 p.m., 9 a.m. morning next day, because then only our business hours kicks in. Okay. So business hours basically the time where the company is particularly working on, and the SLA is basically counted based on those business hours. But if we select ignore business hours, that means irrespective of business hours, irrespective of the time when the case was created, if within 30 minutes customers did not get a reply, assign it to this user, notify this manager as well, or notify this user. Okay. Is it clear, guys? This is also very important. Okay.
And what is the lead assignment rule?
See, lead assignment. Yeah, we also get just a second. Lead assignment rule is similar to assignment rule in cases. Do you want to ask about lead escalation rule? Escalation rules are
No,
not available on lead.
lead assignment rule. Actually, assignment rule is a two categories, na? Case and lead. So
Yeah, assignment rules are also available for leads. Similar to the cases, you can assign the leads as well. Similarly, you can have one standard rule, and then you can have multiple entry criteria and assign it to different users or queue. So it is pretty similar to cases. All the things are related to are still relevant. Whatever we discussed on case are relevant to leads as well. We will discuss this briefly when we discuss Sales Cloud tomorrow. But all the things which we discussed, see, there is no escalation rules on lead. Okay, that is something only available for cases. Okay. And email to case. Okay, email to case is also a very important feature. Okay, if I show you in the Salesforce screen, email to case basically is that your company, says to your customers that if you are facing any problem, then let's say you send us an email at problems@abc.com. So this is the email ID you gave them. Okay. Or this is the email ID you gave them. The moment they send an email to you, that email will be auto creating a case in Salesforce. Okay. So you create a case automatically based on the customer's email. So email to case is this. First, you have to enable it. Okay, here it is already enabled, so no need to do anything. All right, there are a bunch of settings available here. What you need to understand is that you first need to create a routing address. Okay, so routing address basically tells you that for which email ID, okay, you want to automatically create an email in Salesforce. So this routing address will basically generate an email service address. Okay, and the moment you get an email service address, you will give this to your IT team so that they can add this to this particular email ID. Okay, that is something which IT team does, but I can show you how we create a routing address. Okay, test routing. And this is something which you can do with your Gmail. Okay, so there are a bunch of tutorials available on YouTube which will help you to set up the email to case with your personal Gmail ID. You can set up, and then you can send an email to from your personal ID, and case will be created in Salesforce. So this is something which you can actually implement in your Salesforce DevOps. Okay, case owner will be India region. Okay, Grace origin will be email. Omni-channel, I don't want right now, so I'll just save it. Invalid email address. Okay.
We can use omni-channel for live chat, na? When we
Yes,
have
we
to
can
create
use.
a live chat, then we have to use an omni-channel. For multiple.
Omni-channel contains a lot of features. Omni-channel is a kind of beast in Service Cloud. So this is what email service address generated. The errors it is giving because this email ID is used in multiple places, but this email service address you will give to your IT team, and then they will go to the Gmail, and from the Gmail settings they have to add some routing address at this email address, and then this routing will be enabled. So this is something which I want all of you to try this in your dev org. Even someone who has not worked on Service Cloud can try this and gain the confidence out of this. If you actually do this thing in your dev org, then in an interview, if this question comes in, you will be, very confident to answer these things. And that confidence I want in each one of you. Okay. So that's what you will be trying. What it does is that it will automatically create a case in your Salesforce and will assign it to this particular user or queue, whatever you want. The case priority will be medium, case origin will be email. Okay. So try this, and if in case you fail to find any YouTube tutorial, ping me and I'll find it for you. The last thing is omni-channel. This is kind of advanced thing in Salesforce Service Cloud. It basically, uh, helps you automate the routing. Okay, whenever you got a cases in your Salesforce queue, you have to automate the routing to multiple users. Let's say your customer support representative team has 60 members. Okay, and cases were getting created automatically and going to different queues. You have to automate this process so that the representative who has a particular skill set gets the cases related to that. If let's say someone who has a skill on recharge domain will not be able to handle uh, uh, the problem of a product domain. So if in case we do not have automated routing enabled, then cases will float here and there, and then SLA will be increased if the cases are not routing to the correct people, because people will keep on changing the owner. People will say that I don't know how to solve this, and those problems will arise. Omni-channel kicks in and helps you route the cases based on the skill, based on the priority, based on the agent's capacity. Let's say you have an agent who is very capable, but he is already overflown, so you cannot assign new cases to him. Instead, assign those cases to someone who is more available. So it can assign cases to your Salesforce customer support representative based on round robin and based on agent's capacity, priority, and skill set. It has a lot of features available. I recommend everybody to go through the modules of omnichannel available on the Trailhead. I can ping you the link in the chat, and this is going to help you a lot to answer any of the service cloud related questions, because omni-channel is definitely a question which you may get in your service cloud related questions list. So this is something which I want everybody to practice today, at least complete the trail available on the omni-channel. And
Omni-channel are basically three categories, queue-based and
yeah, there are
skill-based and
two types of
skill-based and
routing.
external ID.
Yeah, two types of routing available. Okay, skill based and
Queue-based.
the queue based routing, and you can set these things up in your Salesforce org. Okay, this
Okay,
is
in a queue-based, we have a dealing with single skills, and skill-based we have a multiple skills. And what is the external ID? What can
external ID. Actually, I also haven't tried the queue based and the skill based routing. I've tried, so I'll check what this external ID. This must be something related to some external tools or something. I'll check that. Okay, let me send this link to everybody so that you all guys can go through.
So,
and if you have any link of the assignment tool, could you send me? I want to just briefly read about.
Sure. Assignment rules, I'll provide you notes as well, because I have covered that in notes, and I'll give you some link as well. Don't worry. Sorry, I send it to Pankaj only.
So Mohit, for a email to case scenario, like if a user wants to take follow up on his case, so he need to take an update on the email he sent earlier, or he can create a new email for that.
Okay, so the email which he got from our side, even if he reply on just that email, the case will, I mean, the reply will be attached to his existing cases in Salesforce. It follows a threat ID. There were some changes on this as well, but whenever they reply on the same email, the reply will be attached to their already existing cases.
Okay, if he'll send a new email, it will create a new case, right?
Right. And this is something which we tell them on the email itself. If you want to follow up on the same email, just reply on the previous mail, so they do not create new cases in the system. And if in case they create new case, we have within an option Salesforce to attach a child ticket to the parent ticket, so we can attach these child ticket to the parent ticket as well.
Okay, got it. Sure.
Can we create a new criteria? Yes, we can create new criterias. How many rule entries we can have? There can be multiple rule entries. And can we create new rule? Yes, we can create a new rule, but only one active rule will be active. Rest of the rules will not be active. So we can only have one assignment rule as active rule. And then within that, we can have multiple entry criterias. Okay. This is very confusing question, guys. They will ask you that there can be multiple assignment rules available in the org. You need to stop him and tell him that we can only have one active assignment rule. Within that assignment rules, we can have multiple entry criterias. So sometimes they ask about entry criterias, but then they'll tell you that assignment rules just to confuse you. Email address is customer email address. No, this email address is the email address which we tell customers to send email to. Okay. Company's email address. Yes, thank you, Pankaj. All right, that's it. We will cover the Sales Cloud today, similarly the way we covered the Service Cloud. And in the Service Cloud as well, we can have multiple other questions as well. We can keep on adding the questions on the document we have, and we can take those questions. All the doubts from the Service Cloud today, I'm going to take tomorrow. And then we will cover the Sales Cloud as well tomorrow. Once we cover that Sales Cloud, I want to cover a couple of questions on reports and dashboard and custom settings and custom metadata before moving on to the Apex part. Okay.
Mohit, could you send me the Excel sheet which you have, added scenario-based questions? Could you send me with answers?
I think everybody should have that right now. Okay, let me
Not
share.
able to find out.
Cool. I'll
Sir,
share that.
include